You're watching News 12 in high definition with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Anderson.
I'm Ryan Houston in for Richard.
Let's get straight to some breaking news out of Burnetttown, South Carolina. There has been a possible drowning at Langley Pond. Here is a pic from a viewer who is at the scene right now.
Aiken County Dispatch says a search team is out right now after getting a call that someone swimming went under. They got the call at around 5 today at Langley Dam Road. And you know, it's not a surprise because the area is getting soaked with rain and the water has nowhere to go but up.
It really doesn't. The water is rising, and while we have a break from the downpours now, Chief Meteorologist Shane Butler says it won't be for long. He's tracking even more rain.
News 12's Karen Edwards is on your side, live along Wrightsboro Road with spots that were washed away with water. Karen?
Guys, I'm here on Wrightsboro Road, right in front of Flowing Wells Road, where this road remains shut down. This happening after heavy downpours caused this creek right here to just overflow. The creek overflowed and broke through this barrier, and you can see just how high this water has gotten here in the middle of Wrightsboro Road. And then it went on to create this stream right across the road. You can see DOT workers out now surveying, trying to figure out just how bad the damage is, trying to determine when they can open this road. But right now, still no word on how long this section of road will be closed. As I said, they're out here surveying the damage, and one Richmond County deputy is still redirecting traffic. This site is one of many dealing with the aftermath of this downpouring today, including several homes off of Biltmore Road, where the rain created a large sinkhole in the middle of the road. Columbia County Roads and Bridges is monitoring the sinkhole, so if you live in that area, stay careful. Also, steer clear of the intersection of Wrightsboro Road and Bel Air Road. And here at Wrightsboro and Flowing Wells, again, as I said, still no word on just how long this road will remain closed. DOT workers do tell me that after the rainwater stops, they're going to still have to survey this road before they can reopen it. So it could remain closed throughout the night. I'm live here in Richmond County. Karen Edwards, News 12.
And we are checking out rain from all over the area. Check this video out today. It seems like the sky is falling. The rain just won't go away.
Sound like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. Shane, is there a way to turn off the faucet? Come on now.
Yeah, and I think it has this afternoon for the most part. The rain has let up across the area. You saw there in Karen's live remote there that the rain had stopped. Sun's out, so that water will more than likely get a chance to go down a little bit in some of these creeks and rivers that have filled up late this afternoon. Take a look at our vantage point. As you'll see along Wheeler Road at I-20, spotty clouds here and there, but it's not raining, and it's brighter there, so an indication that the sun is shining, and that should start to dry things up a little bit. And hey, here's some really good news. At least the radar is showing a clean sweep at this hour. There are some storms back to our north and west, and with the sun out and plenty of moisture in place, wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more showers or thunderstorms fire up. So they're not completely done, but at least for the next few hours, it looks like this stuff is really settled down. So temperature-wise for us, we'll be into the low 80s as we head toward 8 o'clock, around 80 as we head toward 10, and we'll drop off into the mid-70s by midnight with scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Otherwise, it's going to be partly to mostly cloudy as we head toward the evening. But it looks like we'll bring in more wet weather as we head on down the road the next few days, an increased chance of showers and storms. We'll look at that in your 7-day forecast is coming up a little bit later on. Meredith?
Shane, we now head over to News 12's Christy Etheridge in the Social Media Center. And Christy, we've been flooded with pictures of the flooding.
Meredith, this water is going everywhere, and we have the pictures to prove it. Pictures of flooding, storm damage, and even some people having a little bit of fun. This is Carson in Martinez. She's making the best of the rain and kayaking through her backyard. And then we have a picture. Here's Trent. He's playing lifeguard in the new pool he has in his front yard in Evans. Taylor is also getting a pool in the back of her house. That water is coming right up to the edge of her house there. And this house is suffering from a little damage. This is from a lightning strike on Biltmore Road. That's in Columbia County. And look at this river level. This is on Point Comfort Drive. The water is getting a little too close for comfort for the homeowners there. And Carson could probably kayak down this road right here. This is Crawford Creek Place in Columbia County. All kinds of wild weather out there, but we love getting these photos from you, so please keep them coming, but stay safe.
A lot of rain out there. Make sure you stay safe. Thanks for that, Christy. An escaped inmate has been captured this afternoon.
He was on the run for hours. Richmond County deputies were on the lookout for this man, 22-year-old Rashad Jackson, all day. And this isn't the first time they've had to try to find an escapee from the Augusta Transitional Center. News 12's Laura Warren is live in the newsroom. And Laura, this center has a spotty past.
That is right, Meredith. Inmates at this facility are allowed to go to work and come back. It's a halfway house of sorts, but the program only works if the inmates actually make it back.
Inmate Rashad Jackson escaped from the Augusta Transitional Center early Wednesday morning. Deputies found him in Hephzibah a couple of hours ago, but he isn't the first inmate to escape from the facility.
I'd like to see the documentation on how many this has happened to.
Since 2011, we found records of at least 10 inmates who have escaped from the Transitional Center. ATC is a halfway house that lets inmates work and gain life skills before being released back into society. But some say this facility is known for letting inmates slip through their cracks. One current inmate tells us escapes happen all the time.
Yeah, a couple months ago, another escape, Paul Anderson. I'm not really sure what happened with that situation. He left and just never came back. He was out on a job search and never came back.
We did some research and found Paul Anderson escaped back in May and still hasn't been captured.
When they get out, they get comfortable thinking they're free, and they get back into old habits and old lifestyles.
First-time offenders, even violent first-time offenders, are eligible to go to the Transitional Center. Jackson, who was captured just a couple of hours ago, was one of those violent offenders. He was convicted in 2009 on a number of charges, including attempted armed robbery, aggravated assault for shooting someone, possession of a firearm, threatening to kill a witness, as well as making terroristic threats. Our inmate on the inside says it just doesn't make sense to escape when you're so close to the finish line, but it happens.
I made it too far to try to turn around now, and I don't want to be stuck in this situation again.
Now, Jackson has been taken to the Georgia Diagnostic Prison. He'll be held there until state officials decide exactly what kind of disciplinary action they will take against him for that escape.
Back behind bars. Thanks for that, Laura.
And as News 12 reported earlier, a new halfway house may add to the list of correctional facilities in the area. A private company wants to put a federal halfway house right beside the Augusta Transitional Center in the Laney Walker neighborhood. And with the recent news, neighbors say they are not too fond of the idea. Neighborhood President Stella Nunnally met with Planning and Zoning to stop the proposed plan.
We don't know how these people are monitored, and we want to be safe, but we definitely just don't feel like that we need another transition center.
Well, would you feel safe living next to a halfway house with ex-cons? We asked that on our website. More than 200 people took our web poll, and 30% say yes, 64% say no, and 5% are not sure. Now, you can take the poll for yourself. Head over to our website, WRDW.com.
So what types of offenders go to these facilities, these transitional centers? Well, according to the Georgia Department of Corrections, people who've served long prison terms are put in the center based on things like their criminal history and their behavior behind bars. The State Board of Pardons and Paroles or the prison staff can refer an inmate there. Inmates can work outside of the center, but nearly all of the money they make goes straight back to that center, or if they need to pay child support, it will go to their kids. In Georgia, there are 15 transitional centers, including 2 for women.
The GBI is investigating a homicide at the Augusta State Medical Prison. 48-year-old Chris Lowry was killed at around 3 a.m. on Saturday, according to the GBI. Thomas Josie Chiribashi has been charged with murder. The man killed was serving a life sentence for stabbing his 60-year-old girlfriend in 2010. The suspect was serving a 15-year sentence for vehicular homicide in Peach County. The investigation continues.
Officer Sean Cochran says he was officially let go from the Waynesboro Police Department this morning. Earlier this month, he filed a formal complaint with the city regarding a physical fight with Lieutenant Teddy Jackson. He says he was fired because he was insubordinate to his direct supervisor, which would be Jackson, the same man Cochran says assaulted him. The case is being investigated as simple battery. A News 12 investigation continues tonight about problems at Aiken County's EMS. We're talking to top lawmakers about delayed responses and a shortage of ambulances.
Some of the debate is about a polo match just weeks ago. News 12's Chad Mills continues digging deeper, and what he found today may surprise you, and not in a good way.
At the heart of all of this, the people I'm talking to say EMS leaders in Aiken sitting behind a desk shouldn't be making life or death decisions. Polo.
Polo is the second most dangerous sport, second only to Formula One race car driving.
The sport of kings, a sport not for the faint of heart.
I was playing in a game, traveling down the field at roughly 35 miles an hour, hitting the ball, and due to an unintentional foul by another player, I went down and ended up with a skull fracture and 2 brain bleeds.
Bring it in, man.
But another polo-related injury is causing controversy in Aiken County. In June, a player on this field fell and separated his shoulder.
What had happened was we had called for an Aiken County EMS ambulance for transport, and the ambulance was on its way, and Harvey J., who is our EMS coordinator, denied that ambulance.
Barbos Cup says they instead had to use a private ambulance they contracted to get the player to the hospital. When that ambulance left, she says everyone else was left in danger, players and spectators. Polo player and state representative Chip Limehouse was there. He fears a wider impact.
And we don't want the word to get out that we are behind the times and that we're in the Stone Ages with our first responders and with our ambulances and our helicopters.
His colleague, Representative Bill Taylor, whose district covers most rural parts of Aiken County, says that's what's happening.
The indication I've gotten from county government officials is that we don't have sufficient coverage. We need 16 EMS units to meet national standards. We have 10. And that just simply means that the response time is way too long to help people in critical need. I'm not faulting the specific EMS folks. I'm saying we don't have enough units in the field to cover 160,000 people in this county.
I talked to County Administrator Clay Killian. He says there's no such thing as a quote-unquote national standard for ambulances, but generally you should have 1 ambulance for 1,000 people. And by that math, Aiken County would need 16 again. Right now, we only have just 10.
So, Chad, how does the county plan to respond?
Clay Killian's on vacation this week, but he told me there is no scheduled meeting with fire chiefs so far. No policy changes in the works right now either, but he did tell me he is writing a report as we speak about the incident in Wagner from just this week. Meanwhile, back at that polo club, certain members there are gearing up to sue Aiken County.
Stay on top of it. Thanks.
Will do.
One family is rebuilding today after losing their RV home to a blaze. The family was actually driving when the fire started just off I-20. They were moving to Charleston from New Mexico. When the RV caught fire, Mom, Dad, the 2 kids, and their dog made it out okay. But everything they own is gone.
Today, I'm kind of more leveled down and, trying to get a grasp on everything that's going on, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it.
If you would like to donate to the family, head to our website. We've got some contact information there.
It's the season for travel, and we're looking into ways to avoid nasty situations. The solution to this problem can be solved by something you always have handy.
And we are still tracking floodwaters in your area. Let us know if you see any water rising in your neighborhood. We want to see your photos on Facebook. Send them to us. Just search News 12 WRDW.